next review is Promising Young Woman 2020. This is a really clever revenge thriller. For a while I was wondering where the story was heading, but a friend had mentioned she liked it in the end, and I very rarely give up on films anyway, so I persevered. I better place another content warning on this video, as the subject matter might be difficult for those who've suffered from violence perpetrated by men. That's the underlying subject. It's often called violence against women, but as many campaign groups have argued, the focus ought to be on the men whose behaviour, whose actions damage women. It might be down to a relatively small proportion of men, but it still causes a lot of fear and restricts women's freedom a great deal. Many women don't go out after dark, for instance. It's been the topic of much discussion in recent years. In Britain, every week 2 to 3 women die as a result of male violence, and there's also a woefully low conviction rate for rape. The same applies elsewhere too, in many countries around the world. And in this case, this story's about the revenge that the protagonist, Cassie, played by Carey Mulligan, takes out on any man who she catches in a particular type of trap. She catches men who are willing to take advantage of her when she appears to be drunk. The story starts with Cassie slumped on some seating in a bar, whilst a group of men notice her and speculate about her, saying they put themselves in danger. You can imagine it's often the start of victim blaming and often precedes sexual assault. Cassie's faking her drunkenness when one of the men from that group takes her to a hotel room and takes advantage of her vulnerable state. She suddenly reveals that she is stone cold sober. She keeps a book of her conquests, a tally of red and black marks. It isn't clear exactly what she does, but invariably the men are frightened of her, and however much they protest, it's too late. It's the usual rhetoric from men that they argue that they're the good guy. Cassie asks them questions like, how old am I? What are my hobbies? What is my name? But the tables have been turned and she's in control now. I suppose the good thing about not showing what exactly happens is that's left to our imagination, and it means that there isn't the whole problematic stuff about how she actually deals with them. I do wonder what the red marks are and the black marks. Is there a difference? Does something really terrible happen to them, or are they just frightened in such a bad way that they'll never behave? It's not clear whether they stay alive or die. And I suppose the thing is, if all these men actually died, I guess there would be police on the case. There's a serial killer on the loose. So I'd imagine something else happens. What exactly happens is almost irrelevant. It's just that she deals with them and they're neutralised, perhaps. Given a scene near the end of the film, she might actually overpower them in a way, find a way of neutralising the genitals. I don't know. Anyway, it's not clear, but it's the fear which is the key point. Cassie's quest for revenge stems from the loss of someone very close to her. Nina, a really good friend. She was studying to be a doctor. That's where the promising young woman from the title comes from. And we don't get to know exactly what happened to Nina until fairly close to the end of the film. But it is obviously something bad. Then there's development. One of the students that Cassie once knew, she was studying at university. He comes to a cafe where Cassie is working. He seems like a nice guy, and this is where things could get a bit icky. But, well, stick with the story. There's the whole scenario about Cassie's living at home with her parents, and they know that she's up to something. Cassie's mum suggests she gives up on vengeance. She seems to. She gets rid of her booklet, but she's very much fixated on her quest for vengeance. Nothing's going to stop her. The big question is, a person that Ryan knows Cassie's very interested in dealing with. I suppose that's where the link with Nina comes in, and that's all I'll say about how the story develops. I thought it was a really good film. Bo Burnham was pretty good. Carey Mulligan's been an excellent actor for many years. I've seen her in An Education. I've seen her in a film that was set around Clevedon Pier. I can't remember that. That was a good film. She was in Suffragette, in Drive. She's been excellent in every film I've seen her in. There's a lot of sadness, a lot of pent-up emotion in the film, and it really is a very relevant film for discussions that happen about women's safety. It comes to a satisfactory conclusion. I'm definitely going to score it 9 out of 10. Thought it was an excellent film. I'd love to know what you think if you've seen the film. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. Hello again. I'm just going to do a quick epilogue because I've now watched a film review. I avoid film review commentary until I've actually seen a film. However, now I've done my review this morning, I decided to see a review because I'm sure there was stuff I missed in the film. The video I just watched really does provide an incisive analysis of how there are so many layers within the film. It has a superb choice of casting and it has layers of symbolism, and whilst the narrative is told from the woman's point of view, and there is so much need for that, it shows that with hope, with silver linings which may appear in the film, there is something for everyone to take away from the film. There's an implication that a lot of us, almost everyone, thinks we're good, we are good people, and yet we're part of a society, and this is about looking in the mirror, this is about seeing internalised misogyny. It's a system that has rules that were formed from a male-centric point of view, and there is something that all of us can take action to change, and that's whether you're male, female, whatever your gender, non-binary, you can do something to help reduce the violence against women. The one thing about this review that I've linked to is that it has spoilers, so I'd recommend you see the film first. And then if there's anything, you probably will have missed stuff like I did, watch the review I mentioned because it's really brilliant. Anyway, thank you. Over and out. Bye.